when the planter goes this year, if it's not throwing sparks as it goes down along the fence, actually we shouldn't have fences. We should have torn the fences out so we could get that one more row in for all this high dollar corn.
Good morning, everybody. Today we're up at our Site 1 barn. We got to get this barn all ready to go for some more baby pigs. So what we're going to do is tear all this down, get it ready for the washers. Washers are coming tomorrow. We got the north building all tore down, so that's all ready to go for the washers. We did that yesterday, and we didn't film any of that because, to be honest with you guys, Dad and I were kind of in a bad mood. And if we're in a bad mood, we don't really feel like showing that experience with you guys. Maybe you guys would think it was entertaining, but when you're having bad days or having some frustrating days, turn on the camera, you know, it's just the last thing you want to do. So we didn't do it, but today we're feeling better. The only way we can get these carts in is we gotta have Dad use a skid loader to push them in. So a long time ago, when we took the mats out of here, we put them on these carts and put them on these pads outside. But now we gotta bring them inside and throw them down on the slats. That way the power washers can get them washed and everything. So it's kind of a biatch, but we're gonna get it. I will say it's a lot better than dragging them in one by one. Sucks getting the carts in, but once you get them in, it's pretty damn easy.
So we poured these pads last fall and we thought they were plenty wide enough, but the truth is when you try to get two mat carts on here and then you try to get them back in the building, it doesn't always work like you thought. This one went carting off the side. Now Sawyer's gonna have to pick all these mats up. We'll probably just come over here and put a chain on it, and we'll just pick it up with the chain and set it back on the pad and all will be well. But just one more thing, I should have never put any slope on these. I thought that it'd be a good idea to have just a little bit of slope on it so that as it rained, you know, any of the manure that came off it would just run off the end of the pad. However, it makes a real pain when you're trying to wheel them back in, so you about got to use a skid loader to push them uphill, which would have been a lot easier if they would have been flat. So bad engineering on Torque's part.
So now you know why we were kind of having a bad day yesterday, because stuff like this just really grinds your gears. And we can't fake being happy. We don't fake enthusiasm and any of that stuff. What you get from us is what you get that day. We're not gonna smack our hand on our leg and say shucks. You know what, one thing that keeps us going is we're pure optimists. So today, even though that this happened and we question being farmers, we are pure optimists and think it's gonna get better and we're gonna get this barn washed and we'll have pigs in here in a couple weeks.
The worst day of doing this for ourselves is still better than any day that I ever spent working for somebody else. So
that's facts. Well, look at that pretty sight. Got it all finished. Everything's ready to go for the washers in all rooms. Morning, everybody. Today is gonna be a good day, hopefully. We may or may not be getting in the fields today. I'm gonna go ahead and chop the corn stalks that we got. We're kind of partial till around here. We like to call ourselves no till, but we do a little bit of partial till in the fact that we chop the corn stalks and then we no-till the rest of it. So Dave is gonna show up with the planter and he is going to give it a go, but our ground temperature is about 45, which is a little low. We'd like to get it up maybe a little higher, so we might wait a day, but it's getting to that time of year where everybody's a little bit amped, maybe a little bit too amped to get in the field and get the seed in the ground. So we'll just see how today goes, and he may or may not show up.
What do you know, Kingpin? Well, corn's high dollar, so we got to get every row. So it's time to get out what my no-till friends call my field compaction device, aka Old Faithful field cultivator. My rows down along the fence have been creeping, so I decided that I'd get out Old Faithful and go around and try to plow up every inch Because when the planter goes this year, if it's not throwing sparks as it goes down along the fence, actually we shouldn't have fences. We should have torn the fences out so we could get that one more row in for all this high dollar corn. I'm going around this field that we're going to start on today, and I'm just working down the outside edge, and then there's a couple of waterways that have got washouts in them, and I'm gonna work those down. By rights, you could probably just no-till right into that, and I know a lot of people do. I got too much of the old farmer in me. I have my field compaction device, and it just sits around, and I feel guilty. When I get an opportunity like this, I'm like, well, I should just take that, clean this fence row up, and by rights, I should probably just tear out the fence, because I have nightmares about Sawyer's girlfriend bringing home a horse, because she really likes horses, and I grew up with horses, and I know what an economic disaster they are. I always threaten that before a horse shows up here, I'm gonna get every fence torn out so that there's no way we can make that happen. Not too shabby. The field on the north side of the road, which is our corn on corn field, that's also where Sawyer's building is, and we got to run up and clean up. There's some stuff up there. There's some old fence we tore out, just a few odds and ends. We got to get that tidied up.
So to the new subscribers that don't know who David is our custom operator. He custom farms for us, and he's been custom farming for us for a long, long time. Since the time that my dad and grandpa decided that they were going to stop combining with their crappy old Massey Ferguson. He's a real great guy. He's a jack of all trades. He does our planting for us, he does our combining for us, and he hauls our manure for us. He does a great job. We get along great, have nothing but respect and good bond with him. And hopefully I can get him on some vlogs this year when he does some planting and does some harvesting, but we'll just have to see. Every year around this time, I always get asked the questions, you know, why don't you do it yourself? Why don't you own your own combine? Why don't you own your own planter? Are you a lazy farmer? All those good, fun questions I love answering. The truth is, guys, we don't have the capital right now to spend all that money on going and purchasing ground and purchasing equipment. If you know agriculture and you know farming, you know that stuff isn't very cheap. Land and equipment is very, very expensive. There's nothing more in this world that I would love to do than grain farming. I absolutely love grain farming. I love pig farming too, but the grain farming kind of thing is everybody's dream as a farm kid. That's what you want to do, and that's what I want to do. And my goal, my mission is to grow our grain farming operation to get to that point where we have nice equipment that we can run by ourselves, and we don't need a custom operator to come in and help us, you know, to go buy more ground so we can farm some more acres. You know, that's everything a farm kid wants, and I want to get there, and we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there because, you know, we're doing all this work up front as far as the pig farming side of things, and we've laid a foundation. That stuff just isn't overnight. You can't just go out and get all that stuff in a heartbeat overnight like that. To you guys that are watching this right now, you are witnessing the beginning stages of this new farm. You know, we've already grown our farm a little bit this year by me building my first hog barn. I'm hoping in the next 5 years we'll get to the point where our grain farming operation is better than it is right now, and I believe wholeheartedly that we will get there. And you guys are going to see that process, you're going to see that journey, and that's the beautiful thing, and that's kind of the mission I have with this vlog. Thank you to the ones that are watching right now, because you're the OGs, and I will never forget the original people that had supported this channel from the very beginning. So big things are coming. It's just going to take a little time. So we're just going to keep on keeping on, using what we got, using what we have to get the job done no matter what. And that's kind of the mentality of This'll Do. That's what the This'll Do means in This'll Do Farm. It's using what you got, doing whatever it takes to get the job done. That's all I have for the farming motivation speech today, and the answers to the questions that people have been asking. So without further ado, let's get on with our day and get some shit done. You want to say something funny?
No, I don't have anything funny to say.
The man, the myth, the legend. Just about go time.
do it. I think it's the bag that you set up there and you got caught on the drag chain. You owe me, like, that's probably, I don't know, that's probably $35.
Well, here we are, gang. First seeds of 2020 or 2021.
This thing, I don't use it much anymore, but when I do go to use it, I like if it works. But it seems like that when you have any piece of equipment with an exorbitant number of tires, the odds of not having at least one of them completely foobarred is low. Anyway, get these off, get them to the tire shop, get them fixed, and then we'll head up and start working that ground down.
While Dad's doing that, I'm gonna pull the truck up so we can throw them in the back of my truck and take them to town. That's got me in the mood to go get some donuts for breakfast.
I think that would be a good idea. I need some nourishment.
Look at the glorious sunshine. Beautiful. Yeah, so the conditions that we had earlier today, not ideal. The weather, the temperature has been coming up all day, which is good. Typically, you'd like to see some sunshine. That puts a lot of heat in the ground. Yesterday morning, we were checking temperatures, and they were 43 degrees in the morning. But by about 4:30 in the afternoon, I mean, the temperatures had gone up. We had plenty of sunshine all day, but the temperatures had gone up to about 65, 70 degrees in some places, depending on how much covers on the ground. So a little sunshine would be nice, but again, I think the soil temperature's coming up nicely, so that's a good thing.
Well, guess what? Both of the tires were foobar. Anytime that you take an ag tire to the tire shop, they usually tell you that they're shot. Maybe not. Maybe that's just me. I guess I'll try to get these on. And then we're gonna go try to clean up. Gonna clean up around Sawyer's barn so we can plant some corn.
Fun, huh?
Okay.
Good?
Yeah. Can you get the impact? Spend more time jacking around so that we can go use this thing for 25 minutes and then go park it in the sticks for another year. We drug the fence off the side of the road, and looks a lot nicer when you run over it with the field cultivator. So I'm gonna make a few passes up along here, get this tidied up, and then head up there to the corner of the building. Out there east of the building, there's quite a bit of dirt where we piled the building and the trusses and all the concrete trucks poured, and we've been out there and picked up all the chunks and pieces and parts, and so I'm gonna go ahead and work this down. The rest of this has already been chopped. We chopped all this last fall, so we don't need to do anything else to it.
Starting to get dark out. Rolling along good so far. I think we've done about 70-ish acres or so. So a note for those of you looking to get into farming or buy a tractor, buy a planter tractor. Their life is really easy. So by the time it gets to you, it'll have a lot of good years left in it. We're chugging along all day at about 1400 RPM. That's pretty good for a tractor. I'm getting kind of excited. I get to try out my new lights pretty soon. Kind of pumped about that. So I had some 42-inch light bars that I bought a few years ago, and I put them on my 4640. That used to be my planter tractor. The lights on that thing were pathetic. Even after I switched them out and put all LEDs on, it still wasn't good. So I put three LED light bars on the top of it, and they work pretty good. But I didn't wire them up right, so the wiring that I used was getting hot and melting, so I could only have them on for a few minutes at a time. For this deal, I ran some heavy gauge wire to a box on the roof, and I made a mount for all 3 of those lights. So I've got relays up there, and then I got a little switch box here. So I'm pretty pumped to try that out.